My name is Luckhoff, and I'm the founder and CEO of NicheStreem. We're a music streaming platform that's based in Cape Town, South Africa, and our focus is specifically on building niche music streaming services for emerging markets, be it Africa, Middle East, Brazil, etc. We've launched our first stream. It's called Licky, and it's focused on the 7 million plus native Afrikaans speakers who are absolutely devoted to Afrikaans music. And in fact, Afrikaans music makes up 58% of domestic music sales in South Africa, but it's very underrepresented on mass market streaming services.
And one of the effects of launching this stream has been, in a sense, to pull all sorts of content out of back catalogue. Give me an example of how that process has worked.
I always refer to dealing with the labels as moving them 1 centimeter to the left, and it's been a very interesting process. So for us, we license content specifically around restricted territories, but also restricted catalog. And so as much as you can find some Afrikaans music on other services, you certainly can't find the depth and breadth of the music that we've licensed. So in our case, we've actually had to go back and digitize a lot of that content in partnership with the labels. So artists such as G. Korsten, for example, many users have come to us and expressed how excited they are that they can find this content now because they see these from way back when are completely scratched. So by the time we're done, we should have over 20,000 tracks that are specifically just Afrikaans content, and it allows artists to also really start earning revenue from back catalog, but also from new catalog. And in terms of really bringing this content in for us, we've had to look at the metadata, how that content's been tagged in the past, re-tagging a lot of that content in many instances.
It was tagged as world music, wasn't it?
Tagged as world music and not necessarily included as Afrikaans, because no one really ever thought there'd be a space to bring that music into the digital space.
And you're also working very closely with the artists. Describe to me how that works for them.
So we've reached out to over 400 artists individually just to explain to them who we are, what is streaming services, why we believe that competing in a smaller content revenue pool will help them to actually earn revenue from that. And for these artists, it gives them an opportunity to be featured on the homepage of our app and to really be the stars of their music. And it gives the users a home for the music they love. They open that app and see the stars that they love, they see the new album launches, etc. And it's made such a difference for them, be that Heuvels Fantasties or Nadine or Unita Duplessis, even Tiens Jordan. Right there, when they open that app, they see their faces, and they are ultimately who we feature on a day-to-day basis.
And they don't get lost in the same way that they would do if they were on Spotify or
Absolutely
Deezer
not.
or any of the other.
So you don't have to go 5 or 6 layers deep to find the content you love. And now they're being featured in very culturally relevant playlisting. So be that genre, mood, activity-based, even decades, or if they're playing at a specific festival, we'll have a category just for that festival so that they can be found and seen and featured very prominently.
And you have longer-term plans for doing ticketing, which will also assist them.
So for us, transparency is really important, making sure that reporting goes out and that the artists themselves can see where they're popular, where are their biggest fans, where should they tour, for example, which cities should they go to. And then ultimately for a user to be able to open that app, and if you've listened to Tiens Jordan as an example, and we know you live in Pretoria, which is the capital of South Africa, we can tell you there's a show for Tiens coming up in 2 weeks' time, and hopefully we can start giving you more value-added services like backstage tickets or merchandise, etc. And then we're also starting to look at online vouchering. So how do we connect content, users and brands with one another, bring these artists and become the sweet spot for how content is discovered and how actual retail products and the real world gets brought into that fold.
So tell me, what are the really popular artists on the platform at the moment?
So
I know it's early days, but...
It is indeed early days, and we track it on a day-to-day basis. So we can even tell you the percentage change of artists. So we have a playlist here called Gewild op Licky, and Unita Duplessis, Elvis Blue, Heuvels Fantasties, Adam, Tiens Jordan, Cherie. These are people that come up, and they're featured in these popular playlists. And what's even more interesting is to start to see which artists are popular by city. Day of the week, we find gospel artists are very popular on Sundays, for example. Braai playlists, which is barbecuing, for those of you who don't know, is on Saturdays. And then we have, so there are artists who featured in different times of the week and different times of the day even. And that's fascinating insight for them. And
you've got longer term plans to do a Nigerian gospel stream.
We do. So we've purposely built this platform so that we can scale it. And the intention is that our development costs come down, but that every new stream is branded, rethemed, and curated specifically for that market. We're looking at Nigerian gospel music. We've even looked at Persian music as a global play, and sertanejo music in Brazil. So you might be familiar with Santana.
Yeah.
And artists there, drop a track on YouTube and get 42 million hits within 2 months. So very popular content that's very culturally cohesive.
And your pitch really is that if you bring the cost of entry down, you will break even much earlier.
So the cost of entry, so in other words, lower our overheads, build one platform that we can host on Amazon Web Services and make use of technology that allows us to run very cheaply, restrict our costs in terms of content acquisition, and then specifically start looking at bringing the cost of the stream down for the user themselves. But yet the artists compete in a much smaller content pool, so they earn revenue, and we can release more and more streams into markets that are currently underserved.